And we're going to get started in a few minutes. Y'all tell your friends to come on in here. I'm lonely right now, so come on in. Hey, Women for the Culture. This is Tameka Kee, founder of the Power of Girls. Hey, Decca. And I am taking over for Women for the Culture. Women to Watch Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. I'm excited to talk to you guys about the Power of Girls. I'm hoping you guys are going to ask a lot of questions. And I just want to thank Nikki for the opportunity to do this with the followers for Women for the Culture. I'm really excited about Women to Watch. We are all women to watch, so thank you guys so much for coming on. Before I get started, I'm going to just let a little bit more people log in, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Power of Girls, and then we are going to get started with some questions. All right. Hey, Jay. All right. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and get started because I only have that hour, 45 minutes, and I, really excited about talking to you guys about the Power of Girls. So I know a lot of the people that are on here right now, you guys are friends, you know about the Power of Girls. Some people probably read our story in Travel Noir about how we got started and the motivation to actually start. But let me just tell you a little bit about the Power of Girls because I know that we'll record this and post it later. So the Power of Girls is here in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm the founder, Tameka Kee. I'm super excited about the programming that we're doing. We actually started in 2017, and then in 2018, we had our first cohort of girls. The Power of Girls, our mission is to empower girls by teaching them self-confidence skills and also teaching them about leadership skills, and then giving them, of course, a sense of self-awareness. And at the end of that, we have a cultural awareness experience. And last year, our first cohort of girls, we actually went to London, which was really exciting. And we're super excited about hopefully going somewhere in 2021. I know we are in a pandemic, and I'll talk to you guys a little bit about how we've actually pivoted with that. But actually started the program again in 2018. We had our first cohort of girls. 2019, we traveled. And we actually work with middle school girls. A lot of people ask me all the time, why middle school? And I'm going to actually ask you guys a question, and hopefully I can see the answers pretty quickly. But so when you actually enter the 5th grade, your confidence is super high. You're like 86% of girls, they are like just flying high. What do you think the percentage drops down to by the time they get to the 9th grade? So let me see if I see any answers out there. What percentage do you think it drops down to? You got 86% 5th grade, but by the time you get to the 9th grade, how do you think girls score when it comes to confidence? 70%, 50%? Okay, no one's answering right now. But actually 25%, Jay is saying 25%. It's actually a little bit higher than that. So they drop from 86%, like all of them saying, 86% of girls saying they have super confidence, and then it drops by the time they get to the 9th grade to 60%, which is just staggering to me. And that's the reason why we actually decided to work with middle school girls. There are a lot of high school programs out there, but we decided that because of the confidence drop that happens between 5th and 9th grade, and there's so much stuff that happens in between then, you have a lot of encouragement that happens when you're in elementary school, a lot of hand-holding. And then when you get to middle school, what we're doing is that we're preparing our girls actually for high school, and it's a lot of pressure that comes in when you come into middle school. So we're actually, trying to intervene at that age and get them prior to them actually going to high school. And it's been, of course, an amazing program. We've seen their confidence levels within our organization go super high. Another thing that we do is that we also teach the girls about friendship. My favorite topic, friendship. So I always say, if you have a good group of girlfriends, you can conquer the world. You really can, right? Everyone knows that one person or that friend or even a mom or a cousin, it doesn't have to be somebody that is not related to you, that really encourage you. We really push, confidence skills and friendship skills. no one teaches you how to be a friend. And it's really important that you learn that. You learn it through teamwork. I mean, some people learn it through sports, but in other cases, a lot of girls don't learn that. They don't learn how to be a friend. So we teach them friendship skills. And you just see the changes in them. We teach them about, how to keep a secret, and what secrets to keep. Because there are some secrets out there, that we have to make sure, we're mandated to make sure that they are, again, being a good friend, but also, just having somebody that they can speak to. A lot of girls in middle school, it's a very awkward age for them. They're really trying to find themselves. When I look at our first cohort of girls that came in at 2018, they're actually, a lot of them are in high school now. Super, super confident. So different. And now we have our second cohort of girls that actually got accepted in 2020, this year. And one of the things that we had to do with a program where we travel is that we had to pivot our programming. A lot of what we had to do was actually do a lot of things online. And it was something that was super new for us. Like, I know a lot of you guys out there probably have, kids at home, and we all had to learn together, and that's something that we had to do. But the great thing about us being online is that we were able to open up our programming to more girls. This past summer, we had our Girl Summit, and we were able to have some girl talk. We talked about careers. We talked about conflict resolution. And that conflict resolution, I need that class sometimes too. And I'm sure as adults, women, as a women, we all need it. It was a great refresher for me from the speakers that we had. But we were able to offer that program, and we had over 100 girls from all across the country that logged in and sat with us over the weekend. And that was something that we were able to do that we would have not been able to do if we weren't online. So that's something that's been great for us. Of course, we want to get back out there. We want to, we've actually went on a hike a couple of weeks ago. It was socially distanced. I don't want anybody to start, jumping on us. It was socially distanced. We were outside. But we want to always show the girls that there are different ways to pivot. And we're not going to just sit in this. We're going to fight to the end, and we're going to fight for them. So I am going to pause for a second because I've been talking for 10 minutes. And thank you guys for everybody that's logged in. And I'm going to see if anybody has any questions about the program or anything you want to know about myself. But I'm going to be here so we can have some girl talk. I can't hear you guys, but I feel the love through the screen. So I'm just going to go ahead and see if anybody has any questions. Yes, J for the pivot. Yes. Yes, that word is very popular this year. And that's something that we've been doing. All right. Any questions out there? Anybody want to know anything? Anybody? Okay, it says, Power of Girls sounds amazing. How can I support? All right. I was going to say that at the end. So we are a 501c3. I did pin our Instagram at the bottom of the page. You can support by going to our page, and we actually have a website, which is www.thepowerofgirls.org. We're actually relaunching our website on Black Friday. We got some fun stuff, and we're relaunching that day. Shout out to our website producer and graphic artist, Monica. She's great. She's been working with us, but we're super excited about relaunching our website. We got some fun things. We got some great content. So, all right. Any other questions? Hey, Cam. Let's see. Why is middle school girls the target age for Power of Girls? Okay, so we talked about this a little bit in the beginning, but I can jump a little bit more into that. So middle school, so important. Confidence levels drop down. Friendships start to get a little awkward in middle school. I asked the question earlier. Confidence, 86%. 86% of girls, reported that they were confident going into the 5th grade. They also believe that they're leaders. And then by the time they get to the 9th grade, their confidence drops. And a lot of that has to do with the pressures that they have in middle school, because it is a transitional year. It is a pivotal year. You don't just usually go straight from, elementary school straight to high school. That transitional year, there's so many pressures for them. There was another stat that I saw that I believe it was 70-something% of girls actually thought about their appearance at least one period a day. So it's usually like 7 to 8 periods in a day, and they're thinking about their appearance. I'm a grown adult, and I don't think maybe I should think about my appearance. Like, that's why I got this hat on. I don't think about my appearance that much, but when they are in middle school and actually more in high school, they think about their appearance a lot. And we want to make sure that our girls are staying confident. One of the things that I experienced this summer, which was very emotional, is, we were, right there with everybody when we were talking about all of the things about racial inequality and injustice. And one of our girls mentioned that at one time she wished that she was white. And I was like, what? I couldn't believe that. I mean, I get sometimes we have colorism issues, wanting to be fairer or wanting to have longer hair. But for somebody to actually want to be a completely different race, that was something that was, I was just taken aback. And I wanted to make sure that, baby girl, you are loved. Your hair being coarse, your skin being dark is the most beautiful thing in the world. Those things have to be instilled in our girls as early as possible. Another thing that we encourage women, men, all girls, is to stop, saying girls are pretty, right? There's 100 other things that you could say to a girl. Oh, you're cute. What about she's smart? What about you're intelligent? Oh, you remind me of, such and such entrepreneur. Oh, you have this skill set of X, Y, and Z. Everything is not based off of how you look. Of course, we want people to be presentable, but we want to get our girls away from always looking in the mirror and wanting to, replicate something else that they've seen out there. We don't want that. We want them to look at themselves and say, oh, look at my skin. I forgot to put mascara on, y'all. But it's okay. I'm still here. I'm still going to show up. So that's something that's really important. Middle school, for me, also is a sweet spot. Coincidentally, the first time that I ever actually traveled internationally was when I was in the 7th grade. And it was pivotal for me. It was life-changing. I'm from New York originally. I'm sure I have still a Southern accent now. I've been here for a very long time. But when I was in New York, I decided to ask my mom, out of the confidence that I had, to ask my mom, who probably at the time was living paycheck to paycheck. We had a decent, lower middle class life. And I asked her if I could go on a trip. And she saved her money for me to go to Greece and Italy. And it was the best experience ever. It was one of the best things that happened to me and for me, because I was in middle school, y'all, like with my friends, and just like in Greece and Italy. And when we were able to take our girls to London, you saw this light that I had never seen before, especially because they don't go with their parents. We did have 2 parents that traveled with us to London, but they don't go with their parents. And they just get super excited. I mean, imagine being in middle school trying to figure out pounds. And they wanted to know why they're like, hey, I gave you $100. Why are you only giving me back 90 pounds? And I'm like, the conversion, like, it's just so many different things that they learn. Just actually navigating the airport, the huge airport, JFK, that we were there, and they were able to do those things. Our hope and our prayer is that we are able to travel in 2021. Or 2022, we actually can, again, we have to pivot. That word Jay said earlier, we may have to pivot and actually travel later. We want to, of course, be safe. But middle school is very, very important. So I think Jay was asking about travel and the way girls see themselves. I want you to put that back up there again, because it kind of faded away from me. But I want to see that question again, if you don't mind. Thank you, Davida. That's so amazing. Our girls tour in London in middle school is so dope. It was so dope. It was super dope. So another thing that I wanted to talk about was mentorship. A lot of people think about mentorship, and we have mentoring in our program. So we don't have one-on-one mentors. We do have group mentors. Shout out to my mentors. I know they're on here. Cam, Candace, Shia, Trisha, they step in and really help with our girls, with our programming. We have group mentoring, and it's really important because you want girls to be able to, again, have somebody that they can talk to, but also be able to lean on somebody and I want them to be able to look at somebody and say, I want to be that. You shouldn't have to look too far to be able to say you want to be X, Y, and Z. And our mentors really step in and they, help our girls. I know sometimes I go down. Like sometimes I get choked up on calls. I'm a very emotional person. I'm a Scorpio. So I'll be on a call with the girls. We do calls now, of course. We do our Zooms. And the girls will say something that's just so emotional. And our mentors step in and they're like, okay, let's talk about that. We give them a platform to talk about so many different things. And it's just super exciting. So, again, shout out to the mentors. It's so important to have mentorship at a very young age. You don't want to wait until you're in high school. You don't want to, sometimes it's not the auntie and uncle. Sometimes it's that teacher or a friend or somebody in a program that changes the thought of a girl. And they're like, wow, I didn't know I can do that. Oh, Miss such and such is doing that. Oh, look, Miss Cam, she went all the way to Haiti. I can do the same thing. Oh my goodness, Miss Shia, she went to Sierra Leone. She did all of these great things. I could do the same thing. You want to put that in front of them. Of course, sometimes kids idolize people on TV, and that's okay too. But we want to make sure that we're putting it right in front of them. I do see one of my Power of Girls. I see you, Sanaya. Hi, Sanaya. Thank you, London, for joining in, and Lisa. One of our parents are out there. So I'm gonna I got any more questions? I am here for all the questions. Let's see. Something else I want to talk about. I talked about friendship a little bit before, and I'll touch on it just a little bit more. I don't see any more questions, so I'll talk about friendship a little bit. So the stat is 86% of girls report that by the time they get to high school, they're in competition with other girls. Whew. That is something that is just 86% of girls report that they're in competition. That's why we do middle school. And that's why it's so important. Shai is asking a question, what are some of the biggest lessons you've learned from the girls? Biggest lessons for me, I want to say the biggest thing I've learned from them is for me that I've learned from them is to dream and to continue to dream. Sometimes we check off our list. I have a famous notebook and I just knock my list out. I zone out. I focus in. And I don't dream sometimes. And they are still dreaming. And they also teach me to slow down. And that is just so important for me. The girls have just really been a light. Because our girls are not just, I always tell people, every girl is underserved. Every black girl, it does not matter if their dad is the senator of X, Y, and Z, or their mother is making six figures. Every girl is underserved. And you know that from everything that we've gone through. From the women that are on here. We do not get the same services, especially black girls. We're more prone to be in trouble, talking too much. You hear that a lot. You don't hear that a lot with other colors. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to make sure that you're leaning in on these girls and just loving on them, and that's what we do. All right, let me see what else. Oh, hi, I got one of my parents on there. Hi. I see Nichelle on here. Any of our Power of Girls have any questions while you're on here? I see my board members. Hey, LaRonda. All right. I don't see any other questions. Let me see if I have anything else that I want to chat about when it comes to our programming. Let me see. I don't see any questions, so I'm just going to talk a little bit about how I actually decided to do this programming. It's one of my favorite stories, so I'm going to tell it really quick. So this program actually came out of another program. It was a work assignment. I worked for the Falcons. Shout out to LaRonda, one of my board members who we worked there together. And then I decided to move to the WNBA. Best decision of my life, right? I moved to the WNBA. They say, hey, we need a program. Decide that I'm going to do a girls program because it's always been in my heart, always been a dream of mine. Okay, so I do the program. It was great. And then what happens is that I decide to actually move into the space of working for a lot of corporations and, just out there doing all of that, just corporate work. And my husband, I called my husband one day, I'm on the phone and I'm like, yo, I'm just so tired of this. You know what I'm saying? I'm so tired of working at these agencies. I'm over it, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, I know he was tired of me, like just calling. He said, when was the last time you were happy? And I said, the last time I was happy is when I worked at the Atlanta Dream and I did the program, The Power of Girls. And he said, why can't you do that again? And I was like, well, it was a work assignment. And I fitted it towards what the sponsor actually wanted. We had 2 great sponsors. He was like, take the love of what you have and make it your own. And I actually started working for a large nonprofit that I work for now. And I had a friend who, again, asked me about what was my dream. And I told her, I said, I really want to start a program, and I want to combine all of the things that I've learned over the years. I wanted to have a curriculum, but I also want to travel. And she was like, why not? And I just went for it. I called friends. I started writing the business plan, and I just started moving forward. And here we are with our second cohort of girls. So somebody asked, how can I support the efforts? Visit us, the Power of Girls. We have our website, www.thepowerofgirls.org. Let me see. I dropped the question in the question mark. Oh, here we go. I didn't see that there. All right. Let's see what this is. Okay. Do you help to strengthen the mother-daughter dynamic? You would actually have to ask our parents. Lisa, you can chime in here. I think that we do. Because we teach girls how to actually interact with other girls and with their parents. The first thing that we always, of course, we want is that we want respect, right? We want the girls to be able to articulate themselves. Sometimes, people get angry, like mom, but there's a way to be able to articulate yourself. My favorite thing with actually one of my Power of Girls, I'm just going to put Lacey out there, Lisa. She actually puts PowerPoints together for her mom when she's trying to get something that she wants. Now, Lisa may or may not do that, that thing that she's asking for, but the effort that she puts in for that thing, she actually puts a whole presentation together. And I'm like, that's her communication style. We teach them how to communicate, when to communicate, because that's also pivotal. Sometimes you have to be quiet. Energy for me is everything. It is very, very, very important. Sometimes we hear or we see something and we're like, whoa, but it may be the way that somebody says it. And parents say to me all the time, it's not what she said, it's how she said it. And we actually, through our Girl Power Summit, we actually had a conflict resolution program. And one of the questions that we ask them all the time is, this is a scenario between you and your mom. How are you going to actually come back to her? Here are some thought starters. Because sometimes I need a thought starter. I sometimes walk with my friend in the morning, Davita, and I'm like, you know what? I didn't think about that way. We have to. This is why I say friends are very important. And surrounding yourself with phenomenal women are important because they'll teach you things that you don't know. I am 43 years old, and there's some things that I learn literally every day. And we actually teach our girls that, like, this is how you want to start a conversation. Or if you're in conflict with one of your friends, this may be the way that you want to handle it. Maybe you want to go quiet for a little while. Or maybe you want to write that person a letter. But what you don't want to do is snap back. Because it never... When has anybody jumped or bumped at somebody and it all worked out well? It never happens that way. So we want to teach them about energy. And we do teach them about that with our conflict resolution. Conflict resolution for me is like my favorite part of programming. Again, I always want to teach them, like, this is the worst case scenario. You don't want to end up where you get in a fight with a girl, right? When you get in a fight, like when you were in middle school and you got in a fight, your intention was never to hurt really anybody, right? You didn't want to, like, hurt them or kill them or anything like that. But there are actually girls that we've introduced them to, of course, through the computer, of girls who actually got into fights and it went to the left and they actually killed somebody because they were mad because of just words. Our mouth is so important. So, we have to make sure that we're taming that. And we also want to make sure that girls have that confidence to be able to say, no, I'm not feeling that way. I'm actually happy. You're just assuming X, Y, and Z. We want to just give them the tools that they need to be able to be out in this world, because this world is so tough for us. Just because of our skin color, it trips me out sometimes that, our skin color, determines so many different things. So we want to make sure that our girls we give them armor. All right, let's see what else. Let me see if we have any other questions out there. Let me see. I talked about friendship. I talked about pivoting. Uh, we talked about why middle school mentorship. Talked about my story. So I'll tell you about a little bit about our apparel. So I have this shirt on. I'm gonna lean back a little bit. It says "Built Girl Tough," and we actually raise funds for our programming by selling apparel. So visit www.thepowerofgirls.org. We actually have a sweatshirt that we are going to give away later. Look at this sweatshirt. Isn't it cute? I'm going to give this away. I'm going to ask a question in like 5 minutes before I log off and see if somebody answers. And then you can DM us and then I'm going to send you this sweater all the way from Atlanta. All right, so let's see. Anything else? Any other questions? Loving all the hearts, loving all the love. Thank you guys so much. Super excited, to just keep going. Some days it gets hard. I am not gonna lie, guys. Sometimes I have to cut my phone off. I just like literally have to zone out. And a lot of it is because I want to make sure that I am giving these girls my best. I give my husband my best, my friends my best, my family my best. I want to make sure that when we are actually sitting down and we're putting programming together, that we're not just copy and pasting. Some people do that. No, we are actually evidence-based programming is so important. Make sure that if you are ever putting your child in a program, that it is evidence-based. We didn't just decide to do this because I just, went on a trip in middle school. It's still evidence-based. All right, so talk about why travel is significant for Power of Girls. All right, so my favorite line with that, with travel and with girls, is that if you show a girl the world, you completely empower them. Travel is so super important, and we've been able to just really broaden their horizons and their lens of things. So I'm not going to talk about London. I'm actually going to talk about what we're doing online with travel, because I know that people are like, well, you're not traveling right now. What are you doing online? We actually have a program, evidence-based, that we partnered with Girls Rising, and we take the girls on, I would say, online trips across the country, across the world. Our last lesson, we actually went to Haiti, and the girls were just, first of all, they were mesmerized. They were like, yo, I didn't know that this happened in Haiti. I believe it was in 2010, because it was 10 years ago. They had this, devastating earthquake that happened. They were probably 3-4 years old, because the girls are about 13, 14 years old. But now what we're doing is this week, we're actually going to show them the amazing side of Haiti, right? We don't want our girls to think that when you go to Africa or when you go to Haiti or when you go to any of these countries where you see brown people, that we all need help. Haiti's a very rich country, rich in culture. So is Africa, rich in culture, rich in so many kings, princes, all the different things. We have to keep reminding them that when they see us, it's not because somebody needs a handout. And yes, we want to, if somebody needs something, of course, we're going to be there and we'll do those community projects, etc. But I want them to be super proud. So, of course, we wanted to make sure, of course, that they understood the history and the significance of why this earthquake was so devastating to this country. But we are also going to show them, why going to Haiti is actually, vacation for some people. And I'm super excited to have Cam, her organization, our sorority. She had I believe it's her 10th year anniversary with her sorority, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Any Deltas on the line? Hey, y'all. She was able to go there with her sorority sisters and actually, really vacation and really see a side of Haiti that I hadn't seen. And I'm super excited to show the girls about that. The girls about Haiti, and we're also actually going to Cambodia this week. So we're actually online, and they get super excited. They ask so many different questions. They talk about education. We show them also that education in America is the barrier that they have in other countries is so big in Cambodia, India, Haiti, other countries. Here, they're just so privileged to have an education where most of the time it's free. And there are girls in other countries that are being made wives. They are having, babies at very young ages. They don't have confidence. They don't have programming that we have here in America. They don't have the Power of Girls. They don't have Girls Inc. They don't have Girl Scouts. They don't have these empowering programs to teach these girls that education is so important. So we want them to know that education for us is a great privilege here in this country. And, we get them excited about that, and we show them girls that are out there in those other countries that are fighting for their education. They want it elementary school, middle school. They want to, they want to keep going as far as they can. But, again, I will summarize the whole travel piece with, when you show them that, it's not just what's going on the block, right? It's not just what's going on in Atlanta. It's not what's just going on in Georgia. And it's not just what's going on in America. It's what's going on in this whole world. And there's so many different things that we can relate to with other girls. We actually went on a hike. And one of the things that I talked about, and I'm just going to be very candid, a lot of people ask, what's a barrier to being a girl, right? And my barrier is having my period. And I'm sure another girl in another country is probably thinking the same thing. It's a barrier for me. It's a cleansing thing, but it's something that I'm just like, wow, my brother, my husband, my family, they don't have to, a girl doesn't have to deal, a guy doesn't have to deal with that. So, it's just so many different things that we want them to be proud of. We want them to understand some of their privilege also, but we want them to walk away from our program being super confident. That is so important to me. We let boys jump around in the field, hype themselves up. It's game day, blah, blah, blah. They super confident, and no one questions them. But when a girl does it, it's like, oh, shit, what's going on with her? She thinks no, hype her up. Like we say, yes, girl, yes. Yes, we doing all of that for them. Hype them up. And, we humble them too. We got to humble girls sometimes. There's certain things we want to humble them about. But hype them up. Encourage a girl. When you see them say, yes, girl, I love the way that you wore this outfit. Or I love the way that you articulated X, Y, and Z. Use encouraging girls when you see these brown girls, our girls, because they need it so much. What's your dream for Power of Girls? Ooh, yes. I love that question. So, of course, I want to get this program out to everybody, right? I would love for us to be, and we are a national program now because of COVID and everything that we're doing online, but I would love to have our programming sit across the country. Another dream, which I'm actually hopefully seeing come true, we want to actually connect with other girl organizations in different countries, and I actually have a meeting next week with an organization in Tanzania, which we're super excited about because, again, I could show a girl the world, but what if you're actually sitting there on your computer talking to someone from Tanzania and you're just having girl talk? Girl talk is going to look a little bit different, but it's just so many different things that they're going to have in common too. So, that's my dream for Power of Girls. Another thing for the Power of Girls is that for the girls themselves is that they take away one thing, right? I want them to be able to say, they're not going to remember every single little thing that we teach them, but if I can save them from anything that will, direct them so far off their path by them just taking a breath and thinking about what is a different way that I can think about this? What is a different way that I can think about myself? It's not just Miss Tameka, it's not just Miss Cam, it's not, it's them themselves being able to regulate themselves. That's what's really important, and we as adults also need to learn how to do that. We need to learn how to regulate ourselves in so many different aspects of, so many different things. If they could take that away, I would say my dreams would come true because you could save somebody by doing that. One of my favorite stories that I have is I was in Publix one day and one of my parents called me and said, your program saved my daughter's life. Whew. Every time I think about that, I'm like, dream. I'm not gonna cry on this thing, y'all. But it's just amazing to be able to say that something that you thought of is something that you dreamed of. Again, I know I'm here with Women for the Culture, and I want to make sure that if there are any entrepreneurs out there, you're sitting on something, do it. Because you never know if that one thing is going to help somebody or encourage somebody Or even if you do it, your failure may encourage somebody else to do something different. We are all super connected. We are all super connected. And I sit here today not because of just Tameka or a confidence. I sit here today because of all of the women behind me, all of the women in front of me, and literally all of the women beside me. Those women beside me push in so hard, and they love on me to make me be able to keep going. My ritual every day, and I try to be very consistent. I walk in the morning with one of my friends, Davita. I work out. I go hiking with one of my friends, Shia. I call my best friend. I call my sister-in-law. When you think, I'm just naming women, y'all, just women. I ain't even say my husband yet. He's a whole man. And I'm literally naming all of these women that I lean on so hard. And those women beside me, that's what keeps me going. To be able to have these different ideas and keep moving forward. I call my friends, and say, hey, I have this idea. Hey, we want to drop a new sweatshirt. What you think, Juana? What you think, Jen? What you think, Kate? You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, women are beside me, giving me different ideas, and they're there when I'm sitting in the corner too, about to cry, or we're trying to figure it out. We have those moments too. It's hard, and you want to make sure that you're doing your best for these girls, and everything that I do is like I do it for them. I'm learning as much as I can to make sure that they have exactly what it is that they need. All right, I'm gonna see if there's any other questions. Let me see. All right, I think I've covered everything. So I know a lot of people asked about support. Again, visit www.thepowerofgirls.org. We are here in Atlanta, Georgia. Give some shout outs. Thank you so much, Candace Nicole. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, Nikki, for having me here with Women for the Culture. Women to Watch Wednesdays. I want to thank my board, mentors, volunteers, Kayla. I want to thank all of our donors. Donors, that's what keeps it going. We are a 501c3. I get not $1. And my Power of Girls, my Power of Girl parents. I want to thank you guys so much, my family and friends. So, I'm going to do this giveaway. All right, let's see who remembers. All right, so earlier today I said that 86% of girls report that they are in competition with other... No. Sorry. Wrong stat. Sorry. All right, what did I say? Okay, here we go. 86% of girls are confident, right? And I said, how much do you think it declines between 5th and 9th grade? It drops down to what percentage? And if you send me the answer, the first person, I am going to send you a sweatshirt that looks like this. And if you want one of these sweatshirts, again, www.thepowerofgirls.org. We are relaunching our website. It will go up on Black Friday. We're super excited. We have some new gear that is coming out. I just want to tell y'all so bad, but I'm telling you, it's so sick. I can't wait. I get super excited. I feel like I'm a designer now. And I'm like, this is not what I got in this for. But every time I sell a sweater, I'm like, wow, that's another, that's more money for our girls. That's more money to do innovative things. That's more money towards, getting, speakers and all of the different things that we need. That's more money for us to get their passports, all of the different things that we have for these girls, meals, our trip. Every time we sell one of these. Isn't it cute? All right. I don't see an answer out there, guys. All right. I said 86% of girls are confident in the 5th grade, but it drops down to what percentage by the 9th grade? Somebody take a guess. Maybe the closest guess, I can give them a sweatshirt. I'm getting rid of this sweatshirt. Let me see if anybody... All right. Let me go back to my questions to make sure that I answered all of them. Let me answer this question really quick. How can we be the change for the new generation to see? Somebody said 85%. Tanya said 30%. So Diary of a Black Mom too. I'm going to go with your answer. The answer is 60%, but I'm going to just DM us and I'm going to get your size and I am going to send you a sweatshirt. So DM us. Another thing, I am not the person that runs the social media. A lot of people think that it's me. No, we have a whole person, Sydney, shout out to Sydney, who does that. She is going to send you that sweatshirt. Again, Diary of a Black Mom 2. The answer is actually 60%. So let me answer this one question and then I'm going to roll out. How can we be the change for this new generation to see? That's really important. And I'm going to get into that. So girls in middle school, high school, down, they're always looking at parents, aunties, mentors, teachers, etc. When you function in this, like when you're functioning in front of girls, remember that they only are going to repeat what they see. So if the next generation comes up and they are less than, or they're not what we want it to be, it's not their fault. It's our fault. Because all they're doing is repeating what they see, right? So when I'm in front of a girl, or when I'm in front of like kids, period, right? What I try to do is correct them immediately when something, when something is going to the left. And there's ways to do that too. So I don't want y'all to be jumping on those kids like, oh, Tameka told me to do that. No, there's ways to do that. But you want to make sure that you show them confidence. You show them leadership. You show them all the things that you are, and then the things that you actually aspire to be, right? When I'm in front of the girls, I may like get choked up about something, but I also let them know that, hey, sometimes I have, low self-esteem, but these are the things that I do. I write in a gratitude journal every day to show my gratitude. If I want my girls to be grateful, then I'm going to make sure that when we're talking to each other, we teach them how to be grateful. Because every action that we do is taught, right? You do not just become a great friend. You learn how to be that. And how do you learn how to be that? Is by the people that are around you. So we have to be the strong women. And when I say strong, I'm not saying like we can't cry, because it's important for our girls to also know that we fail, but this is how we overcome. Let them know about therapy. If you're in therapy, let them know, you know what, mommy is actually in therapy because this is a conversation not for my girlfriends. This is a conversation for somebody who has, a PhD or an MBA in this, because I'm going through something. Because sometimes our friends, we lean on each other and it's like, girl, you need to go see a therapist. This has nothing to do with me. So we teach our girls how to be strong friends, but we also want to make sure that we're teaching them when to step back and say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and set this boundary for myself. If I would have learned how to set boundaries in middle school, I think I probably would be further along in a lot of things, right? We do a lot of correcting as adults. How about we show them early how to correct those different things, so then they don't become all messed up and screwed up by the time they're adults and then they're sitting on somebody's couch. And it's fine sitting on somebody's couch, I do. But you just want to make sure that we are what they would want to be, or what you would want your child to be. And it doesn't matter if you have a daughter or not. I do not have any daughters. My Power Girls are all my daughters. My nieces are my daughters. But, you want to make sure that you are, just encouraging them. So that's so important, so important. We can't just push them in these programs and say, oh, let somebody else fix it. You be that person too. So, all right, Black Mom, Diary of a Black Mom 2. Don't forget to DM us. Thank you guys so much. Again, visit www.thepowerofgirls.org. I had so much fun doing this. And if you have any questions, again, just DM us. If you have any personal questions, I pinned my name at the bottom, Tiki9. My page is open. I don't have anything to hide, so my page is open. If you have any questions, this was amazing. And if you guys have any questions, let us know. And this was awesome. And thank you so much. Bye, guys.